What if I told you that true attractiveness has little to do with cheekbones, muscles, or the shape of your face? What if it was something deeper, something the body feels before the mind ever understands? What if the secret of why they keep being astonished every time they see you is not about novelty at all, but about the safety and gravity your presence carries? Chosen one, it all begins in your breath. Every inhale is a crowning of presence. Every exhale is the surrender of pretending. What draws people again and again is not just the way you look, but the atmosphere you carry. Their nervous systems whisper relief the moment you enter. They expected to brace, but instead they find themselves softening. They expected pressure, but you brought space. Relief always surprises, and that surprise is what they call beauty. Your posture must speak before your words. Stand as though your strength is shelter first and signal second. True magnetism is not in being admired like a statue, but in being recognized as a place where armor can finally be set down without fear. You don't need to perform hunger to be seen. You don't need to shine artificially to draw eyes. Keep your inner weather honest. Carry anger at a human scale instead of an explosion. Carry joy that blesses instead of wounds. Carry desire that bows to dignity instead of devouring. People read this climate instinctively. They feel it the way sailors feel the skies. And suddenly their shoulders lower. Their breath deepens. Their hearts trust. Your sexual energy must be treated as craft, not currency. Currency is spent loudly to prove worth. Craft is cultivated quietly to serve. Craft is built in unseen hours. The early mornings that steady your voice. The tasks finished when no one applauds. The quiet refusals that protect your tomorrow from being sold to tonight. These hidden devotions season your heat until it stops performing for spectacle and becomes a hearth. And a hearth is where bread rises, where stories gather, where warmth lingers. What they call your beauty is often nothing more than the remembered smell of bread, the sensation of nourishment in a world addicted to noise. Your gaze must bless, not bargain. A bargaining gaze scans like a buyer. A blessing gaze witnesses like a priest. The body feels this long before the mind finds language. When your eyes meet another's, let ownership stay where it belongs. See the luminous without pocketing it. It grows where the sacred is left free. That is why astonishment repeats. Not because novelty is renewed, but because reverence never grows tired of wonder. Speak like rhythm, not performance. Rhythm is the architecture of trust. Speak slower than your cleverness urges. Leave pauses where urgency would trample. Let silence finish the sentence your ego longs to underline. The body notices this long before the mind writes compliments. It knows you will not rush it into confession or drag it into display. Attraction becomes enduring when pace changes from predator to partner. Boundaries must be frames, not cages. A clean no is a promise. Dignity is safe here. A clean yes is an embrace. Welcome with no hidden fees. Beauty deepens in framed spaces because attention can rest. If she whispers, "I can't believe it," it is because your edges taught her closeness will never demand the price of self-respect. Surprise thrives where safety exceeds expectation. Keep mystery the way a gardener keeps shade. Shade is not hiding, it is care. Fruit cracks in relentless sun. Secrets rot in endless dark. Reveal only what is ripe enough to nourish. Conceal only what must mature before it is sweet. Then your revelations land like bread instead of adrenaline. They nourish instead of shock. She will feel the difference, and she will return. Wonder that is fed instead of drained brings companions with it: curiosity, humor, courage. These companions make faces beautiful in ordinary light. Enter without needing to seize the room. Transition like a river bends. Smooth. No swamp. No erosion. Exit like a craftsman closing his tools. With gratitude exact enough to be believed, and with space left clean. Leave rooms lighter than you found them, and memory will not need to heal before it can cherish. The next meeting inherits that ease, and ease is the rarest cosmetic the soul can wear. Let service anchor your magnetism. Return the cart. Learn names. Protect the tempo of those with no power to demand it. Service keeps your light from collapsing into brand, keeps your beauty from being consumed by ego. Service roots you in usefulness, and usefulness is what the future is built upon. People are surprised by your face because they are reading the blueprints beneath your skin. Anchor yourself in purpose taller than appetite. Appetite is the engine. Purpose is the rail. An engine without rails wrecks. Rails without engines rust. But when passion is tied to something greater, faith, craft, the common good, your light stops auditioning and begins guiding. Mirrors beg to be looked at. Beacons invite to be followed. Chosen ones are not mirrors. They are beacons. Humility must be your fragrance, not a costume of smallness, but the fresh air of accurate scale. Humility expands every room. Pride shrinks it. The astonishment in their eyes when they see you again is not worship but relief. Relief at meeting someone who will not turn every moment into a referendum on himself. Your beauty does not confiscate the view. It points outward, to meaning, to laughter, to rest. Bodies fall in love with windows long before they learn to name landscapes. Your attention must be curated like light in a gallery. Too much glare bleaches colors. Too little hides the art. Aim your noticing so that truth becomes more itself under your gaze. Honor the courage that appeared quietly, not the drama your vanity would like. Respect the silence that asked to be trusted. Notice humor that healed without mocking truth. Such noticing turns attraction into oxygen. Everyone breathes easier around a man who sees without stalking and hears without hoarding. Repair must be your dialect. You are not beautiful because you never err, but because you refuse to let error harden. A tone that landed sharp is sanded. A step missed is admitted at the same volume as your triumphs. A boundary that sagged is repaired with patience instead of punishment. Each small repair teaches the body that closeness can survive weather. Endurance is where lasting beauty is born. Carry your power like a lantern at shoulder height. A lantern belongs in hands, not pedestals. It lights the path without blinding the face. A man who could dominate but chooses to illuminate becomes more compelling with every return. Domination breeds spectacle and aftermath. Illumination breeds memory and return. Apprentice your desire to generosity. True generosity is not loud distribution, but quiet multiplication of what matters. Multiply oxygen with listening that doesn't interrogate. Multiply courage with truth that doesn't humiliate. Multiply joy with restraint that makes space for another's laughter. Desire that is generous no longer hunts attention, it hosts alignment. And alignment, more than novelty, is why attraction renews itself. Keep the liturgy of beginnings and endings. Begin with presence before performance. End with gratitude before absence. The unhurried hello that doesn't inventory. The mid-conversation breath that lets meaning catch up. The goodbye clean enough to leave tomorrow free. These small rituals write trust into memory. And memory greets you with astonishment again. Not because it forgot your features, but because it remembered how safe it felt to see them. Practice seasonal wisdom. Not every truth belongs to summer. Not every tenderness survives winter without covering. Dress your words for the soul's weather. Offer shade when the hour is overheated. Offer fire when the night is too cold. People whisper, "I can't believe it," because you keep arriving rightly dressed for their season. Appropriateness is profoundly attractive. It says, "I did not come to use this room. I came to serve it." Solitude must be workshop, not escape. In solitude, you renew your treaties. Strength reports to tenderness. Humor refuses knives. Ambition bows to purpose. Pleasure declines regret. Return not hungry, but bearing bread. Bread quiets suspicion, and suspicion is the only makeup that makes every face look weary. Your words must swing like hinges. If you say yes, let action open without squeal. If you say no, let it close without slam. If you are unsure, build rails strong enough to hold weight until you know. The soul finds hinges and rails more trustworthy than fireworks. Fireworks thrill for a moment but suffocate in their own smoke. Hardware holds houses together. What makes the chosen luminous is not rare features, but rare faithfulness. You are not unforgettable because you chase being remembered. You are unforgettable because you can be relied on. You do not crave to be looked at. You cultivate being looked forward to. Beauty that can be anticipated without disappointment is the kind that startles again and again. So keep your breath honest. Keep your gaze blessing. Keep your pace humane. Keep your edges kind. Keep your heat devoted. Keep your words weight-bearing. Keep your exits clean. Keep your returns stocked with light. Every time you appear, astonishment will return. Not because they forgot you, but because they remember how safe it feels to see you. The astonishment greeting you is not amnesia. It is renewal. Wonder never burns itself out. It bows again and again, each time deeper, not because you reinvent yourself, but because you remain steady in changing weather. Legibility braided with warmth makes you appear new each time, even to those who thought they already knew you. What they are marveling at is not novelty. It is gravity. You carry voltage without scorch marks. You apprentice your fire to meaning. Your presence does not dominate. It illuminates. It does not audition, it guides. It does not consume. It blesses. And every time they whisper, "I can't believe it," the truth is they can. They simply haven't been allowed to in a long, long time. They stand straighter without effort, their laughter falling into a lower, steadier tone that carries, their words chosen with care and weight. Again and again you will hear it. You look radiant, yet what they name is not surface, but the way your presence has reshaped space, how your voice has turned the air more gentle, more livable, more kind to those who enter it. You know the holiness of pauses, the breath between confession and response, the bridge between laughter and seriousness, the heartbeat between arrival and embrace. These intermissions are sacred to you, and the way you honor them shows in your timing, your distance, your restraint, in the way you make space feel safe rather than punished. Respect, accuracy, and distance are like furniture, plain but essential. Good furniture alters how a room is used, and when a room is arranged rightly, the light changes on your face. To the eye, this is beauty. To the soul, it is relief. Your curiosity stays both warm and discerning. Warmth without discernment flatters and deceives. Discernment without warmth interrogates and isolates. You choose the middle way. You ask questions that invite. You listen in ways that widen breadth. You protect stories rather than exploit them. Such care makes people luminous. And when you stand among the luminous, you glow too, not by stealing, but by multiplying. You treat endings like signatures, not smudges. You leave gratitude that fits, pauses that let body meet heart. This is why the next time always feels blessed before it begins. Outsiders call it magic. You know it is craft. You do not let goodbyes turn to ghosts. Unghosted rooms are where faces can rest. Rested faces always appear beautiful. You keep the common sacred, the sink, the schedule, the budget of attention. You do not abandon the ordinary, but turn it into an altar. From this grows a confidence that does not strut, skin that reads as trustworthy, eyes that read as home. People say you look better, but they are really seeing the clarity of your inner housekeeping. Your absence, too, is honest. You step away not to raise your price, but to rest, to learn, to gather bread. And when you return, you carry provisions. Your presence preaches without words. Love did not starve while I was gone. Nothing makes a face more beautiful than to return carrying bread instead of hunger. You have not forgotten your vow. You are first a place before you are a plan. Places heal and orient. Plans count and build. If the place is kept, the plan writes itself without betrayal. This is the secret of the chosen ones. They light lamps, repair stairs, season the air. And when people enter, their faces brighten as though someone adjusted the sun. Your radiance is not bound to the stage. It glows in grocery aisles, in hallways, in afternoons that think themselves forgettable. Astonishment keeps gathering around you because you bring your own climate, steady, warming, and safe. You arrive arranged, your strength under covenant, your purpose giving your fire the work of shelter. A face governed this way looks like a promise kept, and promises age into depth rather than fading. Mercy itself has a look. It is the gaze that refuses to inventory a soul, the timing that slows adrenaline, the humor that restores play without making it proof. In mercy's mirror, people see themselves unbraced, and their glow reflects back onto you. You did not create light. You cleared the static that blocked it. Your words are beams now, not sparks. They carry weight, settle rooms, soften faces. You measure success not by the moment, but by the residue. If air is clearer after you leave, if memory does not need repair before it can cherish, then you have practiced the right alchemy. Your absences serve your presence. You return not with invoices, but with bread. Bread unadvertised is the most beautiful offering. Relief with substance. And relief trains the eyes to see faithfully. Faithful sight is why again and again they whisper, you look even more attractive, not because you take, but because you bring. Thresholds and endings remain holy to you. You enter without annexing, pivot without spilling. Close without leaving residue. Safety radiates from your outline before you even speak. Safety is not the absence of risk, but the presence of repair. You repair quickly and quietly, and houses that improve quietly become homes that hold loudly. Faces grow kind in such homes, and kindness reflected becomes the accent color of your beauty. Your service stays hidden, backstage, unnoticed by vanity. You carry chairs. You slow the pace. You notice the overlooked, not for applause, but because you refuse to make love expensive. Love that is affordable builds rooms where truth sounds good at a human volume. In such acoustics, even your silence appears handsome. Yet beneath all this, you stay tethered. You report your power to something taller than appetite. You let prayer govern influence, craft guide charisma, devotion temper desire. These invisible stitches keep you from unraveling. People may not see them, but they see the grace of what holds. You have learned the pace of integrity, quick enough to keep promises warm, slow enough to hear whispered boundaries. In a world trained to sprint or stall, your stride suggests another way, and in that suggestion, armor loosens. Loosened armor is another word for beauty, and so astonishment follows you into the ordinary. Faces brighten not because of tricks or surfaces, but because you have made alignment visible. You never demanded light. You removed the clutter that blocked it. And once unblocked, light does what it has always done. It makes everything shine, especially you.